And 3, 2, 1. What is up, you guys? Out of this world entertainment. Sorry we've been gone for a while, but you know, we got lives. I am your host, Tyler Alanis.
Chris Garcia.
This is Gabriel.
You remember Gabriel. Anyway, yeah. Really quick, long ago, Kevin Smith had a heart attack. I hope he's feeling well. He's doing good, losing a lot of weight. He actually lost 30 pounds, if I last recall. That's good. Keep it up. Keep it up. Anyway, let's get down to business. Okay, I hope you virtual reality fans are out there because we're going to talk about Ready Player One.
Not only the virtual realities, but the nostalgia fans, the 80s boys, and the 90s kids.
Don't forget 1960s. 1960s was in there, bro.
If you count Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
Fair point to bring that up. I got fair point to bring something out about that, but you continue, Tyler.
Chris wants to keep things to himself. He doesn't like to share with others.
We may live in a spoiler world, but I tend to keep things to myself. So, screw you.
Anyway, let's talk about Ready Player One. I think this was a Spielberg classic that he did. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it was okay? Do you think it was awesome? Because I think it was pretty fucking awesome.
I think it was the right time, the right moment to pull this film out. Like there could have been no other time to present this film.
Yeah, I agree. And Spielberg, he has made good movies in the past, but he went back to his science fiction blockbuster roots. So this was a really good time and day for the movie to come out.
What film wasn't sci-fi by Spielberg?
Indiana Jones.
That's more fantasy. And he's also been...
Kalima.
I'm talking about the fourth one. That wasn't even officially sci-fi. It was just bullshit.
Okay, yeah, you got that point right there. But he's also been making like auto-historical biography movies like Lincoln and that other one with Tom Hanks. So he hasn't been... And he's only been producing the new Jurassic Park movie, so he hasn't really directed a science fiction like Ready Player One.
True. Anyway, Spielberg, we're not like throwing you under the bus or anything, but you are like an amazing director throughout all of filmmaker history. So keep doing what you're doing. Stay away from George Lucas and his ideas.
Oh, that's cold, man. They're best friends, man.
But George Lucas was the one who sold Star Wars to Disney in the first place.
Do not mention that. We're going to forget what he just said.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Anyway, let's talk about the film. I think I love the way how Spielberg got like such a creative design throughout all the graphics in the whole movie, especially with all the different avatars that are out there. I think this is like a 100% nerd fest. Like you can reference everything.
Yeah, I was so shocked on how many characters they actually got throughout all the studios. I was like, damn. Wait, who's there? Like, oh, man. I was like, oh, there goes another.
I was even in shock when I was like seeing Overwatch characters, and then who else was in there that was so popular? Ryu, Batman. I think there was a Harley Quinn. Yeah, Harley Quinn was in that one. Ninja Turtles was in there.
Yeah, there was so much. That was the best part of the nostalgia references of pop culture in general. Even the horror characters were there, like Chucky and Freddy Krueger.
I can't believe how many characters they actually got. I mean, even Nintendo was mentioned, but unfortunately, I guess Marvel didn't want to participate in this. Well, to be fair, I haven't really read the book, so I don't know how many characters there should have been.
Yeah, actually. Chris actually read the book before he saw the movie. He read like a couple of pages, but he said he kind of saw like a difference between the book and the movie. Can you describe it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I haven't read the whole book. I only read parts of it, including the final battle where they stormed the fortress to get the key. The only Marvel reference from the book I remember, and this is going to be kind of funny, is Spider-Man, but it's his giant Megazord from the Japanese TV show that the main character uses to ride into battle. I was really hoping that robot would show up in the movie, but it was just Iron Giant only.
Gundam.
Oh yeah, Gundam. But I'm talking. Oh yeah. You're right. Gundam was also in there, and he's also in the book. But there were other. There was this female robot from the Mazinger Z anime show. It's early anime. There was a. Oh well, Voltron was in it. It was a red lion, but you had to like pause it frame by frame to see that. But another big difference is instead of Iron Giant, because in the book he's only mentioned as a trophy case for the character to pick which robot before he picked the Spider-Man robot. Actually, so the main big giant dude that fights Mechagodzilla is Ultraman, but they couldn't. Spielberg and the author and the producers couldn't get the rights to use him because I think there was a legal battle going on in Subaru Productions in Japan of copyright issues because China ripped copycat that character illegally. Really? Yeah, so Spielberg decided to put the Iron Giant as the main big boss to go up against Mechagodzilla. That's all I can remember from reading parts of the book. I need to read the whole thing, but I feel like the movie was a lot better than the book, to be honest, because I don't know, the way Spielberg was able to adapt it was pretty genius.
Yeah, I know they didn't put Ultraman in it, but I think Iron Giant did fill in that role pretty well. I'm also surprised that Spielberg couldn't get the copyrights for Star Wars and some Marvel characters, but Disney didn't want to give that away.
Yeah, and since this film did real well, the author actually is making another book, Ready Player One 2, or maybe the title isn't yet finished.
It might be called Multiplayer.
Ready Player 2, the multiplayer. Yeah, when he does the book, obviously that should make sense to make a sequel to the films. Just hopefully Spielberg is on board to do it, even though he said this was his fourth or fifth hardest movie he's ever made in his career. I mean, you can see why, because largely it takes place in the virtual video game world. So I hope he comes back for the sequel after the book is done, of course.
It's surprisingly that this book came out in 2011, and I guess Spielberg talked to the director or the author of the book, and I was so surprised that this became a film. I'm glad it did.
But besides all of that, I think the film moved me. Like, as it moved me, it was like, as I said again, 100% nerdfest. Like, one thing, I love the actors in the movie. They did amazingly job, and especially they were so different, like, from their avatars. Like, what do you expect from their original avatars? But boom, that's where you get.
I love how this film can connect so many generations, that when an older generation that was born into the 80s and the 90s and today's, and even a little bit earlier, that like grandparents could take their grandkids and go out to the film, and the grandparents will be like, "Oh yeah, The Shining, I remember that." And while the kids are all like, "Overwatch," like, this film collects every generation that are in the movies today. They're going out to the movies. Like I think there should be more people seeing this movie.
Yeah, that's so true. It did feel like this was something many generations could go and watch and instantly remember what they grew up with. Although I don't know about the millennials, but it's the same thing.
Pretty soon the millennials are going to cry and go like, why did we learn about that time instead?
Oh, yeah. Although I'm pretty sure they're caught on that there was no Star Wars pop culture references either, but yet they were able to put in Star Trek in that funeral scene of the creator.
Definitely. But you know what was really funny to me? Well, there was a couple of things, but I'm going to mention just this one, and then we're going to discuss that. I don't know what you guys have, but it's the one where they have the suits, and you actually feel someone else touching you. I was like, is that what we're going to really have? I just
thanks to Nintendo's HD.
Oh my god! So with your playing against a girl, you're gonna have them have her touch you all over like in the movie.
Watch, pretty soon, this is the new generation, how we're going to have sex. We're going to tell, like, our grandkids, like, yeah, like, physical reaction is not going to go compared to a virtual reaction. We just kind of get it whatever we like.
All right, then that means the next generation will be nothing but virgins. That's gonna be hell.
Welcome to your world, Chris.
Yeah, instead of having sex with a woman, like, hey, did you get the new model of Jessica J773? You know.
So
Sorry, we're busting a gut over here.
yeah, because come on. This movie is pretty much is not that far away. What we're gonna do with virtual reality technology?
Yeah, I say give it about 10 years. If we're all here still, give it 10 years, and then that's exactly where we're gonna be.
I think we already completed like step one, getting the virtual gaming out there, since we have like the whole goggles now, but we're still using like controllers. Pretty soon we're gonna start using like suits, and then after that maybe gloves. It kind of keeps going on and on.
Nintendo was ahead of their time when they came out with the Nintendo glove.
That's true.
And the Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy. Yeah, that's true. And now it still feels like it's getting ahead of its time. I mean, Sony with the PlayStation is pretty much trying to race them for that, next piece of technology with the games. Sadly, Xbox and Microsoft is not doing so well. Can you agree on that, Gibby?
Well, Microsoft, as in Xbox, is dropping in stocks actually, but Microsoft itself is it's still okay. I mean, they have other projects and other like computers that they have to go on.
I have a feeling Xbox is trying to really compete with other game consoles like PS4 and then Steam and then other PC games, but I think they're not at their top yet because they keep using what PS4 and every other console is using.
Well, the thing about the Xbox is that they use 4K, which takes longer to develop. So right now there's no games, or well, there is games, but later in like 5 years, then more games are going to come out. Just because it takes longer to provide all those pixels in one little spot to get a 4K resolution. As for the PS4 and Nintendo, they don't have to have as high resolution, so developers could just drag and drop a lot of stuff and not worry about to fit everything on one disc or something like that. And that's also why Xbox games are more take up more space because of the 4K resolution.
Okay, you kind of got me there. But we're getting off track. Let's get back to the movie. but oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, back on the movie, I just want to talk about some of the other fun moments I had watching it. No, funny moment for me besides that dance scene with the touching suit. Pretty much when Chucky popped up and he says the F-bomb. That was both funny and a big hand clapper. At least when we saw the movie at the Regal.
No, the most hilarious part for me was spoiler alert, The Shining, where H goes off on his own and then he meets like the woman in the bathtub and he's like, "Excuse me, lady. Excuse me, naked lady. Can you show me the way out?" Well, I don't know what's going on, but I'm taking it. And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "What?" Then blood, blah blah blah, and you can see the movie.
Yeah, that was great. The Shining. I love the way they transition when they enter that room. No, the creepy girls, then the blood, and then the fucking garden with where it literally becomes a video game with the giant axe coming down.
Yeah, excuse me, little girls. Do you know the way out? Like, oh man, I love that part.
And we weren't the only ones laughing. Everyone in the audience was laughing too.
Man, there's so many good just moments in this film. Like the whole race scene in the beginning, and then finding the Easter egg, and it's just, man, it did such a.
The most thing I kind of liked about it was how they tricked some of who was it? The main boss of Oasis. Yes, I love how they tricked him and thinking he was back in the real world, but he was back. But he was still in the virtual gaming world. But I think that was trippy. I wish we could do something like that as today. That way I could trick somebody here, and it's not from this group from right now. I'm talking about from another group. But Chris said to Gabe, I hope you're not hacking into my stuff. And the other thing was how, what was his name? James Holiday? Yeah. How James Holiday was, gave a conclusion of how he Wade White didn't buy the game or the Oasis rights. Oh, yeah. That was the most dramatic part. Oh, yeah. What do you guys think of it?
Yeah, some of those scenes were good. I did like how pretty much the trickery was used. The ending where he gets his prize of the golden egg and he pretty much inherits the fortune. And that being said, this movie did feel like the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Except instead of going tickets, they find the keys and the winning prize is inheriting the company of Oasis. Well, what are you thinking this?
I guess you can say that, but then again, it's like they had to have all this knowledge to back up on how to find the Easter egg. Well, as for Willy Wonka, you just buy a candy bar and open it some bitch up.
Okay. Sorry, I was gone. They were talking. I hope they interest you with some of the cool things. I think the most interesting thing I found very fonding was the racing. The racing amendment.
Yeah, that was great because I need to read the whole book, but Spielberg did say that racetrack scene wasn't in the book, but that he decided to the scriptwriters, telling them that we should add this to make it a little more exciting and a little more like a better way to find the first key. So it was great because you do see the first start of Easter eggs, technically, with the race cars and the characters driving them, the motorcycle from Akira, the Batmobile, the Adam West one, Speed Racer.
I love the combination that they did with the DeLorean and Knight Rider.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Screw all that, man. Kong, man. With Kong just jumping, building, just fucking shit up on the track.
Okay, yeah, and that was cool. That was the best part. King Kong and the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. I mean, yeah, the fucking dinosaur in Hong Kong, and then you see King Kong jumping on buildings and crush all you. It was like Donkey Kong pretty much, except not really Donkey Kong. It's hard to explain.
I like how, in the beginning when you're watching the film, you're trying to pick everything that you know of, or your knowledge of all this geek. This geek history, and then in the middle of the film, you just give up. You cannot compete on how many stuff is just thrown at you.
Definitely. But you're trying to watch this movie, you're trying to name the thousands of characters that are right there. I'm like, oh, okay, Tracer. Oh, that's Chucky. Holy shit, that's fucking Gundam. And you got the Halo team there, too.
The Halo team, Lara Croft, Spawn. That was a cool thing they did. They put Spawn in the movie.
Also, I'm surprised that Michael Bay gave them the copyrights to use his Team NNT characters in the fight battle. I think that was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I don't mind that design, but personally, I think it would have been better if they added the 90s Ninja Turtles instead of the Michael Bay skins, if that makes sense. Do you agree on this?
Actually, they'll kind of look like in the video games now.
Well, okay, well, that's different. I'm just talking about, what Gabriel was telling me, that they just should have if they want to put Ninja Turtles, at least they could have done the 90s, because a lot of people liking that before Michael Bay pretty much raped it.
Yeah. That would have been great if you would have saw the X-Men just pop up, or during the battle scene, you just see in the horizon just Superman and Goku just and then just completely destroying the film.
I bet that's gonna be in the sequel.
Oh, you think so? That would be pretty crazy. Well, what do you guys think the second one will take off? Where is this gonna go next?
Okay, if you guys seen the movie, there was one of the characters played by T.J. Miller. Now, he hasn't at all been mentioned what happened after the fact. Oasis was... Or Chris was saying what he really looks like in real life, not just like his avatar. But I think that'll kind of take an interesting point. I want to see what happens to him. I think he's going to be the next like big villain of Oasis.
Actually, I think the next one, the Oasis is gone. Like, you know how like when you play games, like you're on this game for a while, then you just move on to the next thing. I think the next video game or the next thing is just going to be like blowing everyone's minds.
Actually, what I like to see, and this is my idea for a sequel, in the Oasis, what if there's like a super computer virus, kind of like, what's that movie I'm thinking? Tron, the Tron main villain, the MCP, that AI gains sentience, it starts taking over the Oasis, and the characters have to like be in the avatars again, take them on.
So basically, Sword Art Online is when, is when they're stuck in the video game, and if they die in the video game, they die in real life. That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, if you guys do watch SAO Sword Art Online, that is an anime series, and Gabe is right. It really does like take a virtual gaming world, but instead of like the whole suits and all that, you're just kind of linked into your mind as your avatar, and the only thing that makes it real enough is just a nerve. That's something that's called nerve gear that's connected to your nerves throughout your entire body.
Yeah, that would be a good way to go, because having like the bad people infused with the good, and because they have to work together to get out of the game, that'll be a good concept for the next film. But no love stories. Just keep it about the game.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But what I really think would happen would be like, maybe like what Chris said. Maybe a computer virus may have malfunctioned, and they have to go find a way to fix it. But then suddenly, boom, boom, boom! T.J. Miller's like, "There's like, I'm the one who fucking said it, bitch."
I would love T.J. Miller to he could keep his avatar from this current movie, but if they do a sequel and they ask him to come back, it would be kind of funny if his main henchman would be Aku from Samurai Jack,
or a minion from Despicable Me 3.
Fuck that. No way. No kids. Not the minions. It's tiresome with the fucking minions.
If they keep the nostalgia factor going, what do you want to see in the next film, if it goes that way?
In the next film, and possibly in the next book, but definitely in the next film, I do want them to use Ultraman, because I'm pretty sure the legal battle is going to be over in Japan anyway. I think it opened up to use that. Wait, I would like to see X-Men or some of the Marvel characters in there, including Star Wars. I will. 90s X-Men. I want the Star Wars in there as well. Man, there's just so much stuff I want them in.
You know, I would kind of like to see some Nintendo games characters in there, like Mario, Luigi. I actually want... Okay, I don't think this is Nintendo, but I want Samus to be in it from Metroid. I think that would be kind of cool. Or like have like the whole Super Smash Brothers list go on and on and on and on and on. But I also want to see like Nintendo characters in the next film. I think that would be kind of retro right there.
All right, give me 5 gaming characters that you want to see in the next film, and give me 5 movies. Oh, shit. And music if you want, and throw just the whole pop culture. Give me 5.
That's a tough one with the music.
Michael Jackson.
He was already in it.
Was he?
Yeah, it was Prince.
Oh yeah. The suit, the Michael Jackson Thriller suit.
Make him into another sequel.
Oh my god. 5 video game. Oh, that's a tough question.
I want to switch my answer. Will Smith.
You know, you'll take. You answer these questions. I have no idea. For me.
I'm sorry. What was your question again?
Give me 5 pulp figure characters or icons that you want to see in the next film.
That's going to be a tough one. There's so many of them. You know? I'm going to have to go with this one. Jay and Silent Bob.
Going back to the 90s, James Silent Bob. That would be pretty good. Just him, like, what are we doing here? Let's walk out. Like,
Okay, I think I know 5. Okay, the Power Rangers, and well, this I don't know if you want to count as one, but either the Power Rangers or their Megazord if the characters want to use just the robots, the Megazord.
Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Tron. Yeah, Tron in the sequel, because he was like back in the 90s or early 80s. He was like a big icon for gaming, but as soon as they made the movie, it became real enough to be like virtual gaming, but in that time. But I think it would be cool to see Tron in a sequel like that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, actually, 2 and 3 come to mind. Ultraman, of course, but Ultra 7, because he's actually a lot more popular than the first character. Okay, that's 3. Power Rangers, them. Well, actually, I think we're gonna go with Tron as well, because do you mean just the Tron character, not Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, the character, not Jeff Bridges. I don't know what the fuck he did in the movie.
He was just the main guy, literally helping Tron create a weapon to kick the villain's ass. And sequel, he didn't do much.
what I would like to see is what we can't see, like DC versus Marvel, or the Avengers versus X-Men. Like, that would be nuts to see that.
But Disney, they're not going to give up those rights. Well, maybe X-Men.
I don't know. I think with this film, because it's not going off of anything really, it's just like a little Easter egg, you know? So if I could see that would be pretty rad.
I also want to see some of the Transformers in the next film.
You know what I want to see? I want to see The Last Jedi just be erased. That's what I want to see.
Oh, shit. That'll be my final answer. Optimus Prime would be those are my 5 characters I want to see. Music wise, shit. If the movie did play good 80s music.
Give me Footloose on that, man. Yeah.
I would rather put What Is Love, Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
I wonder what scene that's going to play on.
Another a ballroom scene where he's he's just having a turn on wearing that suit with his date.
Yeah, I'd love to have the opening credits just
Open on my credits?
No, French Prince. I forgot how it goes in the beginning. This is a story.
And now this is the story all about
on the opening credits. Just play that. Just play that. Just give me that.
I got a question for you. Since they did the second key challenge based on The Shining, what horror theme challenge would you have for a sequel?
Well, Chucky was already there, but if they could get Freddy or Jason, that would be pretty cool.
I'm not talking about characters. I'm talking about a challenge, because the whole Shining was a challenge, a game was. That's what I'm talking about. You want them to do a Paranormal Activity based challenge or what?
Give me Freddy's Dream World. Okay, yeah, throw that in. That would be pretty cool. What else would you want to see? Oh, I would like to see the X-Men's test simulation. That would be pretty cool.
I'm sorry, what were you guys talking about? I was distracted by something.
Yeah, on the second challenge to find the key, it was they literally go through The Shining. I was asking if in the sequel, if they're going to do that, what horror movie would you like to see turn into a challenge like they did with The Shining?
The Conjuring.
Oh, the first one or second?
I'd rather go with the second one because it did have a bit more intent into that one. But I think that will kind of freak out all players to play that game. It will be kind of better than Silent Hill.
True. Yeah, oh, that would be good. Oh, you know what else I noticed? There was very few, and I repeat, very few Steven Spielberg movie Easter eggs. You have the T-Rex and the DeLorean. I would like to see him allow a couple more, like Jaws or even Indiana Jones, if he wants to. He's very sensitive with adding pop culture references about his movies into his own.
You know where I found very interesting? I know there wasn't a whole lot, but what if they added Ash from the Evil Dead franchise? Gabriel just said Ash Ketchum, but no, it's Ash. It's Ash, aka Ashley Williams, from the Evil Dead franchise. I think that would be pretty cool to see it just going in there and go bam, bam, hell to the king, baby.
No way, throw Pokemon, Ash Ketchum? Like a person just walking, they see a Charizard, they're like, oh fuck.
Add some Yu-Gi-Oh into that too.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's not too bad. At least when the first show started. The later sequels weren't that good.
What's your favorite anime?
Digimon.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
But I was surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they put in a couple of Digimon characters in there. I wouldn't be surprised. Because that's something from Japan, too.
Well, I don't know. This is all what we want. But we don't even know what's going to happen in the second book. It's still being written.
It is.
But what's gonna happen in the second book? I would love to see more pop culture than comics. Yeah, well, Chris said yeah, but he has an explanation.
Well, I was gonna say I agree with you. A lot more pop culture, and maybe give a few of this generation's pop culture. I mean, we got Rick and Morty. That would be great to see them in the Ready Player 2. Man, I would like to see today's pop culture stuff.
You know what would be really funny for the sequel? If they added red versus blue characters into that. If you guys know what that is, it's like a Halo parody off of Netflix. It's hilarious.
I don't know. I kind of like to see the old stuff more, like back in the 80s and 70s. Like let's see, who was big? Like the Doors. I want to see some music, man. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, I guess, but they already had. They already had him in it.
I kind of want them to put Rush into it because when they put it in the trailer, I think that was pretty good.
They also had the poster of Rush in the ending.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I saw that. I didn't know you saw it.
Give me Lord of the Rings. Just go the Shire.
No, they're gonna put the Hobbit instead. Fuck Lord of the Rings.
Bilbo, as I like to call him, Bimbo.
Oh man, I think we talked about too much. All right, I think we're gonna end this episode here unless you guys have anything last minute to say.
Go see the film. Go out and go see the film.
Yeah, go out and watch the film. I even watch it on IMAX. Just give up everything you're watching in IMAX.
Screw IMAX. I don't care if you have to download it. I don't care if you have to research it. Just watch this film.
Agree. Go watch this film. This is like one of the greatest films in 2018. Well, I don't know it yet. I don't know as nerd culture, but let's just wait on Infinity War because that may be big. I don't know. There's huge competition going on right now.
Tune in next time.
As Gabe said, tune in next time to Out of This World Entertainment. I am your host, Tyler Alanis.
Chris Garcia.
This is Gabriel.
That was a fail conclusion right there, Gibby. And remember, we talk about comics, you listen to our stories. Good night, everybody.